soleil.
There is one session that has been entirely done like this. I just discussed with Roxanne Varza to be a curator. Roxanne would like to be a curator. She's building the largest incubator in the world. And she could talk to you about this, or she could instead be a curator for leaders and say, here is someone I really want you to introduce you to the world, to help impact the world. And there is a subject that is really important for me, and that subject is incubating and helping startups in Iran. And that is amazing. And I can tell you there is another thing amazing is Roxanne as a guest. That is Elnaz Hariri, and she came all the way from Iran. She didn't have a visa until yesterday, a few minutes before our flight. We did a few phone calls and we found a visa for her. So I'm really so happy to introduce to you Roxanne Varza, Director of Health President, Elnaz Hariri, who is the project manager of Fab Lab Connect, coming straight from Iran.
I think Loic did a really good job at explaining it, kind of blowing the cover for me of why we picked this topic. So I'm really thrilled. As he mentioned, essentially he said, pick a topic that really inspires you. And a few weeks ago, I was in Iran. I go there regularly to see my family. And I think the startup scene is blowing up there. And I think the end of sanctions is going to make a huge difference. So what we thought is we would give you guys kind of a primer on the Iranian tech scene and what's going on there. Just a question, has anyone ever been to Iran? Does anybody plan on going to Iran? Oh, nice. Woo. I think you guys can give yourselves a round of applause for that. I did not expect that at all. And I'd really love, I think Loic mentioned the trouble we went through bringing Elnaz to Paris for this event. She's not going to introduce herself this way, so I'm going to do it for her. Professionally, she's a mechanical engineer. She's working on one of the first Fab Labs in Iran, as well as one of the first startup accelerators. So that's really why I wanted her to be here today. And this is her first event, and also one of her first trips outside of Iran. So can we have a really warm welcome for her?
Thank you. Thank you.
Super.
Thank you.
Super. So, in case anyone doesn't know where Iran is, we thought we would start with the basics. So, Iran is a really large Arab-speaking country famous for couscous and hummus. Okay? No, you guys are laughing, so I'm glad you guys caught on to that. So many people think that Iran is an Arab-speaking country and that we eat the same food as Morocco and Lebanon. We actually don't. The language there is Farsi. The food is completely different. Please don't ask us if we eat Indian food. That drives us crazy. Population is around 78 million, very young, educated population, very tech-savvy population, and the country is full of contradictions. And that's one of the things that I think we really wanted to make clear today, is it's full of contradictions. So you may have seen something like this pass on Forbes as one of the Forbes headlines. 70% of Iran's science and engineering students are women. I don't know if you guys expected that to be the case. I definitely didn't. And I was talking to Elnaz. Actually, why do you think that is?
It's mostly a culture. When you are kids, your parents encourage you to be doctor and engineer in the future, and you are hoping to have a job in engineering and something like this, to have good salary and like that.
So essentially, from a young age, people are encouraged to be doctors and engineers. I guess that's no surprise. 70% of them decide to go into this field, but then the numbers aren't this high when you look at the workforce.
Yeah. When coming to workforce, you will see more men than women in taking careers and jobs. But because they expected you to be an educated mom, they prefer you to be an educated mom. But the good things of this is that when you are hiring for a same position for as same position as men, you have same salary.
So you do have equal salary. That is, if the woman decides to go that route.
Yeah, if you can get the job.
She's challenging you guys. So this is actually a report that came out in The Economist in 2014. Iran is kind of far down the scale in terms of valuation for the biggest companies, but if you look closely, we're actually not that far behind the Netherlands and Belgium. Of course, things have changed in the last few years with companies like Klarna and whatnot. But the three biggest internet companies at the time were valued at 20, 30, and 150 million, respectively. So we thought we'd introduce you first to Iran's leading startup. Has anybody here heard of Digicala? That's insane. So what is Digicala?
Digicala is the biggest e-commerce platform in Iran, like Amazon. It's Iran's Amazon.
That's not Digicala. I'm going to go back. There we go.
Yeah, and its current evaluation is over $700 million. They have an investor, and which names is Sarava Pars. And they have about 1,000 employees there.
So it's essentially Iran's Amazon, founded actually by a few young guys. I think they were 27 at the time. And essentially that's the company that everyone will talk to you about. Obviously, they've increased their valuation since The Economist published that report. So we also wanted to introduce you to some of the support system from the ecosystem in Iran. This is a photo of one of the accelerators. Probably looks a little bit homegrown. It is. And this is the one that Elnaz is involved in.
Yeah, it's MAPS, and it's one of the first accelerator and private support center for entrepreneurs and technologists in MENA region, offering support for development and ecosystem which support innovation and independence for young technologists and entrepreneurs. And it's funded by Farid Korangi and international entrepreneurs. It has about 20 consultants and mentors around Europe and America.
So this actually for me is much more like a startup studio. They take equity, they make investments.
Yeah, they help you to, when you are in a seed stage, they help you to increasing for going up. And you can be there for 18 months, and after that, you should go and have your company.
So it's an 18-month program, and they make seed investments. Yeah. Some of the companies that have come out of this program.
Yeah, they have actually 4 startups there. One of them is Shafaju, something same as ZocDoc, and they're working with nearly 2,000 doctors there. So
similar to ZocDoc, you guys have heard about ZocDoc, I assume. So you can go on this site, and what can you do?
Yeah, you can search for a doctor you want in the different cities of Iran, and you can set appointment there. Hamiju is the first crowdfunding platform of Iran, like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It helps artists to fund their projects there.
So they've actually been able to support some award-winning films.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that its founder is a girl.
As well, female-founded startup in Iran. That's pretty cool. So you've seen now a few sites of companies where the writing is in Persian and probably looks like an Iranian site. This is an Iranian startup that actually got a lot of attention. Probably doesn't look Iranian at all. You can connect with Google, written all in English. They had 14,000 users after just posting it on Product Hunt. And I remember these guys called me and they were like, how can we monetize that? Poor guys, with the sanctions, they had all these users and they had no way to monetize it. So hopefully with the end of sanctions, that will be changing for them. Another accelerator that I really wanted to share with you is called Avatech. It's actually based out of the University of Tehran, and they have worked with over 30 startups, including Taskulu, which is the startup that I just mentioned to you. Probably some of you have heard that Rocket Internet is also operating there. Where is Rocket not operating, essentially? You guys knew that? They've actually done a joint venture with one of the local telecom companies there, and they're essentially rolling out Easy Taxi, Bodo Food. I think you guys can probably imagine what those companies do. It's Food Panda and Uber, and they've done a couple more as well. When I was there, I was trying to find out who's actually funding these startups. I couldn't find like a lot of business angels or venture funds. I'm sure they're underground and hidden. The startup community is really starting to come together now, so there's actually not a lot of funds, and there's not a lot of ways for people to know who are business angels. It's really just family connections. But one that I did find that was really interesting is called Griffin Capital. It's founded by former Deutsche Bank exec. He's actually got 2 100 million funds that he's working with. These are across several locations, so out of London, Dubai, and Tehran. So there is some funding going on, but I think this is probably something we'll see explode with the end of sanctions. And finally, we thought if you guys are interested in learning more about what's going on there, we would introduce you to one of the leading English tech blogs, Tech Raza. They're very much like TechCrunch, actually, to me. So I think they kind of publish in a very similar way. They are kind of the go-to source for people who want to know about Iranian startups. Do you know any other sites that we should mention here?
First quiz?
No, for blogs. No more blogs? Just this one. Okay, just this one. Now, how many of you have heard of Zanjan? You probably heard of Tehran. Has anyone here heard of Zanjan? It's a city. Nobody. That's what I was expecting. I hadn't heard of Zanjan either until like 3 weeks ago when Elnaz, she's actually based out of Zanjan. She's not based out of Tehran. She's like, you've got to come here and see what we're doing. And I'm like, you're ridiculous. There's nothing going on there. I can promise you. There's actually a lot going on there. So I would love you to talk about one of the projects you're involved in. Yeah. I'm trying to go back.
We have another branch of MAPS Accelerator in Zanjan, which is working with Fab Lab Connect. Fab Lab Connect is an organization based in New York, and we are a technical team of them in Zanjan. They help people, organization, and government to create Fab Labs accelerated and connect it with other Fab Labs around the world. As most of you know, there are about 400 to 500 Fab Labs around the world.
So this is one of the first Fab Labs in Iran that she's working on building. It's connected to this international network that I didn't even know about. Apparently they have one in Corsica.
Yeah, Corsica
and Corsican Fab Lab as well. I didn't know that, so I'm learning a lot. So you guys are not just doing a Fab Lab, though. You're doing a lot more.
And now we are setting up soon. But we have two latest products in Fab Lab Connect. One of them is Fab Lab Vr, which we use.
You'll like this, Robert.
Goggle. We have created a Fab Lab space in virtual reality as a game. You can put your phone in this goggle and you can explore Fab Labs to know what's going on a Fab Lab. And the other one is a school Fab Lab. We have scaled down the Fab Labs in school for schools let students and teachers learn how to use the machines to have their digital fabrication there.
You wanted to invite Robert Scoble to come check this out, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. And another project we thought we'd share with you from Zanjan that I found ridiculous. It's not connected to tech, but it is connected to social entrepreneurship. It is an organization, it's actually a company, that helps educate women and prepare them essentially to enter the workforce. This is mainly for women who are widowed, who are divorced. Some women as young as 14 have been in this program. And essentially they start by teaching the women how to cook, which sounds probably ridiculous, and they work them through the cycle of operating a business from cooking. So you can actually open your own restaurant, you can open your own shop at the end of this 2-year program. So I thought that was a really cool program when I went and I visited, and definitely something worth knowing about. So what now? I think Iran is at a really interesting place. With the end of sanctions, I thought we could hear firsthand from someone over there. What's going on?
As you know, it's just a few months ago that sanctions have lifted up. We are all hoping to investors and visitors who are interested in Iran to come visit the startups and technology center there, and they're all welcome there.
So investors are all welcome in Iran now. All right, thanks guys.
And one thing, there is a startup named First Quest, which you can go there and see where you can visit Iran's cities and reserve anything you want. Reserve hotel, hostels there.
So essentially, if any of you are interested in going to Iran, and from the first poll we took in the beginning, I think you are, you should check out First Quest. It's a startup that's actually helping with tourists that want to go and check out the country. So thank you very much. We're here to answer any questions.
Thank you. So we're going to be fast on questions because we're a little over time. Do you have any questions right here in the room? Otherwise, I'll take it from Facebook. Any questions? Yes, right here. Raise your hand, please. Thank you. So we'll take 2 questions because we're a little. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David. I have a question, which is a bit naive, perhaps. It sounds a bit counterintuitive that there's a tech scene and some blogs and everything, compared to what we hear about censorship and everything. How is the government supporting the tech scene and everything?
We love that question. Thank you. Government. So I should have said that in the beginning. We purposely didn't go into a lot of the government issues because it's a sensitive topic. I'm going to respond to this because I think she probably prefers not to. Government, so there is still internet censorship. A lot of people have a way to get around this with VPNs, and they have all kinds of things in place, so it's actually not an issue to access. So the government kind of has one discourse, which is anti-innovation, anti-kind of free flow of information and things like that. But in practice, it's not like that at all. And as you saw with Taskulu, the company that had 14,000 users internationally, they built that product that's connected through Google. I think they had Facebook Connect. They had access to a whole bunch of things. They built that product during sanctions. There's ways around it, so that's what they're doing. It's really impressive.
I'll take one from Facebook Live if you allow me. And by the way, please help me thank Roxanne for not people want for bringing. Thank you, Philippe, for bringing you to the stage, but also for not coming here to pitch. She could talk about. So people are asking about the Alfred, but it's like we have speakers not talking about their thing at all. Ever just bring something new. So Roxanne, the question is from Arnaud Bonzon. Hi. Could you please tell us more about La Halle Fraissinet, if you allow me?
So La Halle is not in Iran.
It's a philosophy.
No, so La Halle, as many of you have heard about it, it's the biggest incubator in the world. I can give you a couple of updates, but you'll have to stay tuned for all the cool stuff we have planned.
1,000 startups?
1,000 startups will go into a 34,000 square meter building. It's an old railway station, currently under construction, has been under construction since October 2014. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's cut into 3 different sections. We will have an on-site Fab Lab that'll be huge. We have a number of services that will be on-site for startups. The startup space is actually 1/3 of the building, so we have a lot of other things planned. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say for right now.
All right. We're out of time. I'm so sorry. But thank you all, and you're here all day, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming all the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.